Okay, today it's B.B.King again, and in this example he's chatting about how he likes to outline the three chords of a blues. Now I'm going to aim this at kind of beginners to intermediate sort of level for this lesson today. I'm not going to go too much into the theory. I'm going to highlight a couple of the notes that he's ending his licks on to outline the chords, and just a little bit about the scale positions. But let's watch it all the way through, and then we'll start breaking it down lick by lick.
Then the 5. That's the way I result.
Okay, amazing stuff. So let's go back to the beginning. We'll play the one chord and then we'll chat about it. So that's the lick over the one. The one chord is a G7. So we've got G minor pentatonic. You can think of your extension up here. And he adds in a couple of the notes of the chords just to highlight them. So that first lick is over the one. So straight away he's playing the B string on the 3rd fret, and then playing the 3rd fret of the high E, which is the root. Then he comes over to the 8th fret of the B string, which is the root again. So he's played a couple of notes out of this chord, and he's moved up here to the root as well. That's what he's doing over the one. And then we've got the 4 chord where it gets a bit interesting. So the way BB explains this earlier on is when he's playing over the 4 chord, which is a C, he thinks of this position at the 8th fret where your C7 would be. And what he does, he gets the high E on the 8th fret and he bends that up. And that's something quite unique that BB used to do, is bend with his first finger. Going to take a bit of practice, just keep doing it every day. So he bends it up, then release, but you don't hear the release, and plays the 8th fret again, reaches over to the 11th fret, gives it a bit of a tweak. Now this is his minor 3rd, and then plays a root, 1st finger on the 8th fret. It's that same root we played earlier. So when he's doing this lick, he's in this position. You could play the same lick just as if you were playing your minor pentatonic extension. That's sort of how Albert King would play it, and Stevie Ray Vaughan. Exactly the same notes, just played in a different position. From the beginning. So that's the 1 chord. Then we go back to the 1, which I'll play now. So when he goes back to the 1 chord, he comes back up to this position where he sees his G7 and outlines that perfectly, but throws in a major 3rd at the end of the lick. So he starts, you can think minor pentatonic, B string, 6th fret, back to the 3rd, then G string, 5th fret, so it's just walking down the minor pentatonic. But then he plays the major 3rd, which is right next door there. So it's your 4th fret on the G. And he plays that 3rd because it's right there in the chord. He's outlining that change. So the 1, to the 4, back to the 1. Now the 5's going to come around.
Then the 5.
For the 5, you can think now D7 right up on the 10th fret. And he grabs the 12th fret of the high E, bends it up. I'm not sure if he's bending up a whole step or maybe just over a half step. So he bends up, then back and plays the 12th fret on the high E, grabs the 10th fret on the high E, reaches over 13th fret on the B string, and back to this high E 10th fret, which is your D. That's a D note. So he's really riding on the root of the 5 chord, which is a D. Again, a little bend up on the 12th fret, high E string, back to play the 12th fret, then back, first finger on the 10th fret, then 13 on the B string, and then back to the 10th fret, your D on the high E. So from the beginning. So you can hear the chord changes just by playing 1 or 2 notes. Now let's go back to the video for the next lick. So that's back to the 4 chord. So he just moves back. So we're on D, then he just comes back to this position. Whole step bend on the 10th fret of the high E. Back down, plays the 10th fret. So we whole step bend up, back down, play the 10th fret, first finger, 8th fret, high E. Then we're going to play the 11th fret of the B string and walk down to the 10th. And then we finish on that 8th fret again, which is the root. It's also the 5 of the 4 chord, but like I said, I don't want to get too complicated. You can think of it as the root. So all together. Now we're going to wrap it up. So a nice lick there over the 1. So we've gone 5, 4, then back to the 1. He slides into the major 3rd with his middle finger. So that's he goes from the 3rd fret, minor 3rd, slides into the 4th, which is our major 3rd. Then he grabs the high E on the 3rd fret. So that's like highlighting this chord. It's just the top part of this chord. And there's that last lick, just to tag it.
That's
where he resolves it on the 5. So that last lick, he plays the B string on the 5th fret, then walks up, 3rd fret high E, then 5th fret high E, sliding into the 7th fret, which is our major 3rd of the 1, and then finishes it on that B string on the 3rd fret, which is the D note, which is the root of our 5 chord. So he's perfectly highlighted all the changes. I'm going to play it all the way through slowly. 1 chord, 4 chord, back to the 1, 5, 4, 1, back to the 5, and then it would turn around and you would start again for another 12 bars. Let's watch it all the way through one more time.
Then the 5.
So you can think of these chords. There's your 1. That's where he's playing a lick out of. 4 chord. Back to the 1. 5. 4. Oops, sorry. And back to the 1 chord. He does go round again and does another 12 bars. I'm going to do that in another lesson because this can get a bit lengthy and it's much more complicated, more bending. He does the same movements around the positions but just does some more complicated licks. I'm going to get into that in another lesson. So any questions, fire them in the comments below, and I'll see you tomorrow when I'm going to carry on with my cage system series. Cheers.